Friends, the objective of this session is regarding the constructor and their types and overloading the constructor. Then we will cover the use of this in the garbage collection also. The constructor is very important topic that was not available in a procedure oriented programming language. Let us try to understand the constructor. What is a constructor or why do we require it? Here we have a one example. The example says that the class test and we have a one age variable, and when we create a variable we initialize some default value that's a 20 at that time. Here we have a class triangle and we have a base and height values, that's the instance variable of that class. And then we have a public static void main. In the main we are creating the object 1 as a new triangle. Here whenever we are creating the object 1, I want to assign some default value or the initial values of the height and base to the object 1. This is very similar to this case like a age 20. Here whenever we are creating the age variable we are assigning 20 value. Here whenever I want to create an object, I want to assign some default values or initial values to that basically object. So how we can do that? That can be done using a constructor. So the constructor is basically one basic mechanism by which we can assign the values to the object when we create the object. Let us take the few examples to understand it. This is our first program of constructor. This is basically default constructor. The constructor without any argument is known as a default constructor. Here we do not have any argument in this constructor. One more rule for the constructor is the name of the constructor and the class must be same. One more rule is it should not have any return statement or return uh, function type. Now here the objective of this constructor is to initialize the base and height value as a 1. When we will create a object like this, at that point as we have not written any argument over here, it will call and execute this constructor and it will initialize 1 for the base and height, and then we are printing that base and height. Let us see this. See, the constructor has put on the 1 and 1 value of the base and height. So we can initialize the object when we create it. Let us go for the second program. This is basically regarding a Java provides default constructor. The difference between the above previous program and this program is that we have not put on any constructor. Whenever we will compile this program, the default constructor without any code will be provided by the Java itself, and that will initialize the default values of all the instance variable. So here we have a base and height as a float values. So that will assign as a 0 value, and here if we print a 0.0 in a base and height. Let us check it. See, the base and height has been initialized with a 0 value. Now let us move to the third one, parameterized constructor. The constructor with the argument is known as a parameterized constructor. Here we have a one object created, and during the creation of the object we want to pass base as a 22 and the height as a 33. So from this point this constructor will be called, and the value of the base will be 22 and the height h will be 33. So that base B 22 will be assigned and height H 33 will be assigned, and then we are printing the content of that base and height. Let us check it. See, the base is 22 and the height is 33. So this is a basically parameterized constructor. Now we have a constructor overloading. We know the function overloading or the method overloading. The same method with different number of arguments or different type of the argument is known as the function overloading or the method overloading. Similarly, we have a constructor. The constructor can be also overloaded like this. So this is basically constructor overloading. Here we have given the two varieties for creating the object by providing a two constructor. The first variety is this. We can assign a one single value and the base and height both will be assigned to that 22. And the second variety we have given is individual values for the base and height. There's a base equal to 22 and height equal to 33 that we have. So this is basically constructor overloading. Now let us check it. See, here in our first constructor, base has been assigned as a 22, and in our second constructor, there's a second object, 22 and 33 has been assigned. Now let us go to the use of this in a constructor. Basically, in general, this is pointing to the current object. Here, what is our objective is, we want to jump from the one constructor to the other constructor. How many constructors we have written over here? The two constructors. The one is a float with a single argument and the second is a float with a double argument. And here, we had created a one triangle object, obj1, as a new triangle. And we are passing a single argument. So from this point, it will move to this constructor. And the t value will be the 22. Fine. Okay. Now here we are calling this means current class constructor. That's a triangle constructor with a t as a 22 and 22 as an argument. So in short, we are calling this with a 22 as a float argument. So it will jump to this basically constructor or this line. And then the b will be the 22 and the h will be also 22. That will be assigned. So here both the constructor will be called and executed. Again, you have to take care that this must be the first statement. You cannot put it at anywhere in this basically constructor. It must be the first statement. Let us try to compile and check it. See, the main started triangle float. Why the first this float has been called and executed? Because what we have done is we have created 22. From that it will move to here, and from again before executing this we are calling a other constructor. We are jumping to the other constructor. So this will be called and executed, and then after it will come back over here. So that's why we will get it as a float and then float and then 22 and 22 as our base and height value.